Welcome back to Young Tripp Reactions. The first video we're going to do is parents make horrific discovery as police refuse to help them find their missing son. Let's get into it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Young Tripp family. There's a ton of people watching, only a handful are subscribing, so join the Young Tripp family. I drop new videos every day. Also, if you run across high viral videos that I don't see yet, that you may run across, you could post them in my community tab on YouTube and I'll see it. Also, you can also send it to me through direct message on Instagram. My Instagram is also in my on my channel in the description of the on my channel main page here on YouTube. Also, if you click on one of my music songs, or even it may even show on this video that you're watching now, it'll have the link that will take you straight to my Instagram, where you can send me a direct message of a video that you want to have reacted to on the channel. Again, it has to fit within the things that you see on my channel. So like the video that I'm doing now or other videos that you do see on the channel. And if it fits the channel, then I'll give you a thumbs up and, make an announcement that this was from one of the subscribers that thought that this would be a good video to do on the channel. So yeah, you can either post in the community tab on YouTube or send me a direct message through Instagram, through my professional Instagram page. Again, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. And let's get into this.
Parents find their missing son's body dismembered after police chose not to investigate. Put it full mass.
Put it up full mass. Refuse to investigate. Let's continue.
This story is going to make your blood boil. It's not an easy story to tell. It's not an easy story to hear. But this 18-year-old deserves our absolute advocacy for justice surrounding his death. 18-year-old Markavious Rumph, they call him Mark, was missing for 5 days.
He was missing for a week, y'all. I'm reacting to this in real time. This is fresh. There's only a handful of creators who is doing the video right now, I think, that even know about this. So this is fresh, so you're probably going to get a lot of pausing from me. Wow. Missing for a week. Almost. 2 days from a week. Let's continue.
Or his remains were discovered. Mark was missing for 5 days before his remains were discovered. His family says his body was shot, it was then dismembered, and his body was also set on fire. The family for his remains were discovered. His family says his body was shot, it was then dismembered, and his body was also set on fire.
He was shot, dismembered, and set on fire, y'all. "18 years old, and the cops also didn't want to help find him. He was shot, unalived, set on fire, and dismembered. Let's continue.
The family told WRBL News that he was last seen leaving with a friend. The outlet reported he was last seen on May 7th. When he did not return to his grandmother's, the family grew concerned and began their own search with the help of volunteers that spanned for 5 days. Now, before I get into statements from the parents, typically, you know your child, okay? I'm a parent, many of you are parents, and you know your child. When there's something that is so extreme outside of the normality of your child, and you cannot find your child, you have this instinctive knowledge that something is wrong. You don't know exactly what's wrong, but you know something's wrong. Put her up full mass.
Put it back up full mass.
Quote, I looked for 5 days for my son. With no help from the Eufaula Police Department, his mother said. Mother's name is Yolanda Wynn. Quote, me and my family in the rain on Mother's Day. I walked through those.
In the rain on Mother's Day, looking for her son. Boy, prayers go out to her family. Prayers go out to her. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Young Tripp family. Walking in the rain, trying to find her son on Mother's Day. Let that sink in. Let's continue.
Woods. End quote. Another quote. But they gotta pay. I want this day. I walked through those woods. End quote. Another quote. But they gotta pay. I want everybody that's involved to pay for my son, everybody. She's obviously in significant grief. The grieving father. His name is Mark. Told WR.
Mark Sr. Let's hear what Mark Sr. got to say, y'all.
WTVM News, the suspect, significant grief. The grieving father. His name is Mark. Told WRBL News the suspect, quote, burned my baby, shot my baby, burned him up, and chopped him up. I'm dealing with it the best I can right now. Here's what we know. Markavious was 18 years of age. He was last seen alive on Wednesday, May 6th. He was at the Beeline number 3 gas station, according to police, and was getting into a black Nissan with an acquaintance. The family said they believe people known to Markavious may be responsible. But WRBL News is not naming anyone because police have not publicly identified suspects or persons of interest. Police also have not announced arrest or officially identified even the victim. So let's zoom out for a moment to read between the lines of what WRBL is saying. WRBL, they're not reporting on a name publicly because the police have not identified publicly, but the parents believe it is an acquaintance or multiple individuals who are known or were known to Markavious. That means that likely the parents gave the news at least one name, okay? But because the police did not confirm the name publicly, the news, local news, they are not willing to provide the name that the family gave, okay? I worked in local news for years. That is not a protocol that is standard. It is a judgment call based on the news director every single time. Every single time, okay? So don't think this is just a protocol of local news. The local police are leading the investigation with the help of the county sheriff's department and the State Bureau of Investigation. Quote, "We do not have suspects, and my message to them is if you did this or had anything to do with it, this sick, horrific crime, we're coming for you. We're going to find you." That's what the chief of police said. Members of the search party said there was evidence of blood and burn piles outside a nearby home. City police are utilizing cadaver dogs and fire marshals to aid in the investigation. So while it says the police department is leading the investigation, it seems as if the volunteers are the ones coming up with the evidence. Because
that don't make no sense. The police aren't even doing nothing. It's the family. It's the volunteers. The police just don't even care. But acting like they're the ones that's really doing the investigation. His family is. The people who don't even know him, who's just volunteer because they're just like, what happened to this young 18-year-old young man? Wow. As a person, like I say all the time, who wanted to do this type of job and be a homicide detective, I don't care what race you are. I don't care about any of that. If you got unalived, I'm going to investigate your case and try to bring your family justice. Especially if it's meant to be done right. And what I mean by that is, if you weren't really the victim in the situation, and I know that it's going to be more self-defense involved because you were doing something. So like if you tried to go break into somebody's home and then they unalived you, well, then, that type of case is self-defense. So as a homicide detective, what am I giving this to a prosecutor for? It's self-defense. If you try to do something to a woman or a child, and then somebody hurts you, then the same thing, that's a defense case. So, things like that, as a person who always wanted to be a homicide detective, that's a whole other different thing. I understand all of that. But if you're just unaliving people, and me wanting to always be a homicide detective, I'm going to investigate your case. I don't care what color your skin is or anything like that. If I had the vision to be able to be a homicide detective, I would solve every case that I could, and it doesn't matter if you're really the victim. If you are really the victim, not based off of what your family is saying, but if you are really the victim based off of the evidence, I'm going to investigate your case and get that person prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. These cops, these uncivilized cops here, should be prosecuted due to not holding up their oath of office. Because I'm sure they didn't really care about this case because he was African American. And that is a shame. His family was doing more for the investigation and just random people out there all by themselves. They were doing more than the police. Crazy. Let's continue. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Young Tripp family. There's a ton of people watching. Only a handful are subscribing and joining the family. Let's continue.
It was important to them as soon as it happened, rather than waiting on some made-up time that the person needs to be missing in order to engage in a proper investigation, especially when you're dealing with a teenager. If you're interested in supporting Mark's family, this is his GoFundMe fundraiser reads, quote, Mark was an 18-year-old with a bright future ahead of him. And remember, the dad's name is Mark as well. He had recently obtained his GED and was truly aiming for the stars, inspiring those around him.
Also, the original video, as usual, we pinned at the top of the chat and in the link in the description. So for anybody who does want to donate to Mark's family for his homegoing ceremony and all of that, you could go to the original video, and the same thing that I'm looking at on the screen, you'll be able to see it. And I'm sure there's like a barcode or whatever where you can, scan, donate, Cash App or whatever, PayPal or whatever service you use to be able to donate to the family. Let's continue.
Determination and hope. According to his father, he was planning to attend a welding school. He was the life of the party. He was going to make you laugh. Do the very best you can. All right. Jamie, thoughts here?
Tragic. This is abhorrent, and this only happens to us. Stuff like this only happens to us, and it is exhausting to have to hear it time and time again, and I can only imagine how exhausting and how tragic it must be to actually go through it, but this kind of stuff does not happen to any other group of people but us, and it keeps happening to us. We're in this late year of 2026, seemingly, 200 years removed from slavery, 100 years removed from Jim Crow, not quite 100 years, and here we are exactly where we were 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago. I don't know why we bother paying taxes. Why do we bother paying taxes? Because, you have this family who, you hear that myth on TV where a person has been missing 24 hours. It's absolutely a myth. If a person is doing something outside of their normal behavior and you report that to police, they're supposed to investigate it. If your son was supposed to get off the bus at 3 p.m. and he had done that every day, and all of a sudden he's not there at 3:05 and you're not hearing from him, that's cause, in the right circumstances for an investigation. So the police sitting on this. And I agree with you. We have different definitions of the word lead. How on earth are you leading? How is the police force leading the investigation when the family has to find the body and and dig and provide names? No. Why are we paying taxes? Why are we paying taxes at this point? Because our government is not serving us in any capacity. And in a lot of cases, it's victimizing us. Maybe not in this case, but they're getting as close to it as possible without being over the line. If they're not over the line.
Yeah. Well, one of the most disturbing elements out of this disturbing element is to imagine a mother on Mother's Day weekend having to look for their child with volunteers. Nobody's trained. Nobody's a trained law enforcement expert. These are volunteers on a Mother's Day weekend to find a child that they love. An 18-year-old who cannot be contacted. We're going to stay on top of this story. Obviously, something malicious will emerge as to the reason and cause of death.
It's time to lock in.
Advertisement, y'all.
Make it legendary. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
The cops pull over, or there's a traffic stop, right? And
yeah, that is absolutely insane that a mother had to do that all on her own, and a father look for their child all on their own. No help from the police, none whatsoever. And just imagine for people who are parents if you had to like find your child all on your own, no help from the police, and you find them, they're unalived, they're burned beyond recognition, they've been shot. That's horrific. All around the same time of the year when it's Mother's and Father's Days coming and past. Terrible. And the police just didn't even want to help. They should be prosecuted. Those officers, at least for not wanting to help, violating oath of office. You know, because your job is to help. Just imagine, like, if I said, well, I don't think I want to cook for this person today. I wouldn't have a job anymore, right? Or if I said, I don't want to pick up a package today. Or, I don't know if I want to even make a reaction today. Then I wouldn't be making any money. It is crazy to hear like parents have to say that they tried to get help from the police and they didn't want to help. And so they had volunteers and themselves out there helping them trying to find their child. Let me know what y'all think about this. I'll have the original video pinned at the top of the chat and a link in the description. Make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification. And prayers go out to his family. Anybody who knew him. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Let me know what y'all think about this. Also, don't forget that if there's any videos that you want me to react to that fit the channel, you can post them on our community tab or send me a direct message directly through Instagram. Peace.